welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is my open book. Today we're gonna try and get caught up with my wrap-ups a little bit. So we're gonna do a June wrap-up, and I think we talked about a couple of the books right at the beginning of the month already in my previous video, so I'll skip those, but this is gonna be mostly what I read in the month of June. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's catch up. I'm gonna take a page out of Bestie Book Reviews book. See what I did there? I love watching videos from Bestie Book Reviews when they do their weekly wrap-ups and they only do like 1-minute book recs. So I'm gonna try and challenge myself to do that. That way this video isn't too long. So I'm gonna set a 1-minute timer on my phone and we're gonna see if I can talk about each book in under a minute each. Let's see how that goes. The first week of June I really didn't read that much. I only read like 3 books in the first like 9 days of June, and I already talked about those in my previous wrap-up video. So we're gonna pick up with what I finished on June 10th, which is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. So let's start my timer. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Wild Love by Elsie Silver is a new book in a new series by Elsie Silver. So it's kind of connected to her Chestnut Springs series. The male main character is the brother of one of the female main characters from Chestnut Springs. He is in like the music producing business and he's starting his own business, and he's, you know, going back to the small town that his family spent summers in, and he ends up kind of reconnecting with his best friend's little sister, and she has just gone through some bad things. She just left the city and she's without a job, so she ends up working for him at his record company that he's trying to start up. She also ends up having to be kind of like a nanny in a sense, because he finds out that he has a long lost daughter. Oh, this is gonna be so hard. Okay, long lost daughter because he like donated sperm years ago. So the long lost daughter is coming to him for help and he has to try and like figure all that out. I thought this was a really great story. I just loved the plot of it. The romance like wasn't my favorite. Like the romance part was cute, but I was really more invested in like the relationship with him and his long lost daughter. Like that's what really sold the book for me. So I gave it 4.5 stars because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but it was really good, really good. Okay, I need to get faster at this. Let me prepare myself before I start the timer this time. Next I read Truly Madly Deeply by Alexandra Bellor. I'm gonna start my timer. This is my first time reading something by this author, and I know that she does great queer romances, so I was really excited to pick this up, especially because June was Pride Month, so I was trying to, you know, try and incorporate more queer romances. And this one involves 2 bisexual characters, which I really appreciated because I feel like bisexuality is not as represented in books, and I just felt like very seen with this book. Just like the way they talked about bisexuality and being bi but not being in a homosexual relationship. I think that was just an interesting perspective that I really appreciated. And this one involves a romance novelist and a divorce attorney, which like that pairing is just elite, but they end up on a podcast together and the banter between them is just really good. But obviously like they have very differing views about marriage, and Truly, the female main character, is kind of going through a hard time when it comes to love, because even though she's a romance, gosh darn it, how do they do this in under a minute? Anyway, she's going through a hard time. Her parents are recently like having problems and separating. She just broke up with like her fiance of a long time because she found him cheating on him. So she just like doesn't know how to feel about love right now. And I really liked this. I think I gave this 5 stars, but like since then I kind of want to put it in my 6-star category. Like I'm definitely contemplating it. Now I want to read everything by her. Okay, next I read Top Secret by Serena, Bowen, and Elle Kennedy. I actually listened to this on audio. Start my timer. Okay, this is a male-male romance. It kind of starts off where you think it's going to be an MFM romance, because you have one of the male main characters is in a relationship with like a high school sweetheart kind of situation. They're in college, and for her birthday she says that she wants to have a threesome. So he goes on an app to try and find a guy that they can have a threesome with, and he is still kind of like hesitant about it because he's not really sure like how it's gonna go. So he like messages the guy on his own just to kind of like see, you know, how this is gonna work out, like try and like ask him questions because the other guy is like experienced with doing this. So they end up kind of forming a special bond in the app with each other that is totally separate of his girlfriend. Like the girlfriend doesn't even know that he's talking to this guy. This is also like a secret identity trope where they also know each other in real life, but they don't know that it's each other on the app, because on the app they don't have their faces in the pictures that they have on the app. In real, God. It was good. It was a little long, so I think I gave it like, let's see, what did I rate it? Like 4-ish stars or so, because I really liked it, but I feel like it was a little bit long in the middle. But we love a bi awakening, right? This is so hard. I don't know how bestie book reviews do it. Okay, next I read The Puck Decoy by Gian Wright. This is the second book in her hockey romance series. Let me start my timer. Okay, this is a childhood friends to lovers slash best friend's brother slash fake engagement situation. I guess like marriage of convenience, if you will. So it kind of builds off the story from the first book, so I don't want to give like spoilers, but basically there's reasons that female main character has to marry, and he gets like this list from his dad of all the people that he's allowed to marry, and he finds out that his sister's best friend that they grew up with is on that list, and he figures that's his best chance because, you know, it could be like a friendly arrangement between the two of them because they already have that connection. So I really loved it. Gian Wright, she does the best dirty talk, you guys. Like, it was just so good. And you can never go wrong with the "it's always been you" trope, because technically they met before she met her best friend, his sister. So I love that. I love like the flashback scenes to when they first met, when they were kids. And it's also interesting because Hallie, the female main character, has autism, and I thought it was represented very well in this book. Okay, moving on. Oh no, just kidding. I rated it 4.5 stars. It was really good. Okay, next I read Forbidden King by Laura Pavlov. Start my timer. This was a bit of a disappointment for me. I gave it 3 stars. So this is the third book in her Magnolia Fall series. Loving Romeo, the first book, was like one of my favorite books of the year, 6 stars. Second book was like it had good parts, but also had parts I didn't really love. So like that one was just okay, but like still decent, right? This one was just not it for me. I gave it 3 stars, but I feel like that was being generous. It just felt very superficial and like very surface level, predictable. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know. I've seen other people rave about it. It's one of those like best friend's brother, I think. No. Brother's best friend. One of those. The fact that I can't even remember is sad. Normally I would love it because it's also like a friends to lovers. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. It just felt very predictable, and it felt like anyone could have written this. It didn't feel like Laura Pavlov's signature small town romance to me. So not my favorite. Next I read A Shot in the Dark by Victoria Lee. Let me start my timer. So this is my first romance that I've read where one of the main characters in the romance is trans. So again, I was trying to read books with pride representation, and I thought Victoria Lee did a great job of incorporating trans representation into this romance. I really liked it. I wish there would have been more of that. I do feel like more of the book focused on the female main character's like religious background. So she basically grew up in like a very strict like Jewish upbringing, and it affected her in a lot of ways. And she is a recovering addict as well. So I feel like it is something that they were both able to bond over because he is also a recovering addict. So obviously that part of the story was really beautiful, and I loved that development in their romance. But again, I feel like I wish it would have focused more on the trans representation than the religious aspect. That's just my personal preference. It was still really well done. I did it. Oh no, I didn't tell you my rating. There was like 1 second left. I was like, yes. Nope, close, but not quite. Okay, what did I rate this? I rated it 4 stars because like I said, it was really good. I just wish that it would have been a little less on the religion and a little bit more on the trans character's backstory. A minute is just not enough time. It's just not enough time. Okay, next I listened to The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and this is their, oh, let me start my timer. This is a really cute summer romance. I loved the narrators and I love the dynamic of this one. So it's technically like a fake marriage, but it's like a second chance fake marriage in a way, because they actually started their fake marriage back in college because they needed to something with their living situation. I don't remember the details and it's gonna take me too long to explain, but she thought that they got divorced after they graduated college, but apparently he never actually like finalized the divorce. So it's like years later and something's going on with his family business and he needs to kind of like bring her out of the woodworks again because people are starting to doubt the fact that he's married, because he's been keeping up the charade on his side this whole time with his family, like, oh yeah, my wife, but then they like never meet the wife, so like a little suspicious. So they have to go on this like family trip because his sister's getting married and he's using it to like show that he's happily married to her or whatever. So he basically goes and like rips her out of her life and she has to like pretend like they've been married this entire time. I thought it was gonna be really cheesy, but it was really good. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's the perfect summer romance right now. And yeah, I highly recommend getting it on audio too. I just think it was a really unique fake marriage trope because it's like a little bit of a twist. Ashford Parker Doesn't Fall by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the second book in this series. I don't know what the series is called. I don't know, but the first book was Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Loved that one, so I was excited to pick up this one. Let me start my timer. So this one follows Ashford Parker. She is the stepsister to the female main character from the previous book. And in the end of that book, something happens with her previous relationship. Again, I don't want to spoil it. So she is newly single and trying to kind of like remake herself in terms of her career. She's an interior designer and she's kind of going through a rough patch. She kind of wants like a fresh start. So she gets an opportunity to go on this show. It's like a restoration show for this like kind of creepy vintage hotel, like bed and breakfast inn kind of situation in her small town. And this other female main character she's gonna be the carpenter on the show, but she's also the granddaughter of the woman who owns the inn. And this is their romance. So it's kind of like a bi awakening for Astrid in a way, which I loved. And then the other female main character, she also has some hard things from her past. She was previously married, so you kind of get like that aspect of it as well. And yeah, I just had a really good time. It was great to be around these characters again. And Ashley Herring Blake is another one where she just does queer romances so well. Like, it's hard for people to compare. So I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. Like, this is what sapphic dreams are made of, truly. Ooh, okay, next one. Letters to Molly by Devy Perry. Let me start my timer. This will be easy to keep it under a minute because if you want my full thoughts, you can go to the live show on Katie's channel where we talked about this book. This was our book club pick and our thrilling romance book club for the month of June. This was my first time reading something by Devy Perry. I'm gonna give her another chance. This wasn't my favorite. Normally I love a good marriage in trouble, second chance situation. But this one, I think unfortunately is one of those instances where it proves that not all marriages work out. And sometimes divorce is necessary. I think that I just don't agree with the way that they were like brought together the second time around. I don't know. Like I said, if you want my full thoughts, you can go watch that live show on Katie's channel. I'll link it in the cards up above. If you want my full thoughts, I'll give her another chance. I'm not giving up on her just yet, but this one was like not my favorite. Next, I read The Breakup Tour by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broka. Let me start my timer. So as you can probably tell by the cover, this is a Taylor Swift inspired romance. So I was kind of putting this off because while I love this writing duo so much, I didn't know how I was going to feel about this because I'm personally not a Swiftie. So I didn't know if this was going to be for me. But oh my god, I was wrong. The way that these two write is just unmatched, okay? This was like very lyrical with the writing and it was like very soulful, like just the like angsty connection between these two characters. It's a second chance romance, which is just like what I love. Like, look at how much I tabbed this book, okay? There were just so many great lines in here. This is a 6-star read, 100%. Like, this is everything I love about rock star romances too. I just love the connection that the authors make between love and music and life and music, and just how music can break you apart but also like bring you back together. It's just, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I'm mad at myself for putting this off for so long. Okay, next one, last one actually for the month of June. A little bit of a surprise, not gonna lie. This is Whispers of the Deep by Emma Hamm, and it's a monster romance. I don't know if you want to call it that. This involves a merman and a human, and it's kind of in like a post-apocalyptic society of sorts, so like very sci-fi-y, which again is not usually my thing, but Ava from Ava Romance Books, she talked about this on her YouTube channel, and I love mermaids, so I was like, okay, maybe I just need to give it a try. I just need to give it a try. Yeah. Monster romance might be my thing now. I don't know. I'm not like a full convert, but like give me a merman and apparently that's all you gotta tell me. This is like a darker romance too, so like it does involve him kidnapping her because he is trying to like, basically the humans are terrible to the mermaids. Like, are we surprised? No. So he's trying to kind of like get inside of the human world just to like learn more about them so he can find a better way to defeat them. So he kidnaps her to try and do that, and it turns into a love story, as they do. But yeah, it was really fascinating. I just love the world, and the sci-fi was a little hard for me to get into at first, but once I was in it, like I was in it, I was fully invested. There's more books coming out in the series. I think the second one's already out, so I already have that on my Kindle. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I highly recommend. What did I rate this? I rated it 5 stars. It was a great time. It was a great time. Definitely a slow burn, but like, this is really for all the girls who grew up wanting to be Ariel from Little Mermaid, but not so they could be with Prince Eric, like so they could be with a merman. That's really what it's about, right? All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Just a quick one, just so we can get caught up on my wrap-ups a little bit. So this was the month of June. I think I'm gonna keep doing this 1 minute thing for my monthly wrap-ups because it's just a lot easier. And plus I feel like you really get my true thoughts. If I only have a minute, like I'm gonna make sure that I'm not like rambling or like talking out of it. Like I'm really gonna give you like the nitty gritty of what I thought. So let me know how you like this style, or if you would prefer like the longer videos. Let me know in the comments down below. Give this video a like and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see my future videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.